The US Copyright Office has issued a landmark report that provides updated guidance on how copyright law applies to AI generated works. This report is titled Copyright and Artificial Intelligence, Part 2 Copyrightability. And it comes after their extensive consultation with over 10,000 commenters from all 50 states and 67 countries. So they did an executive summary of their core findings. This is a 50+ page report. I'm just going to quickly touch on the main points here. So, first, existing copyright law is adequate to handle AI generated works. They say that no legislative changes are needed to move forward here right now. The use of AI tools to assist rather than stand in for human creativity does not affect the availability of copyright protection for the output. Copyright protects the original expression in a work created by a human author, even if the work also includes AI generated material. Copyright does not extend to purely AI generated material or material where there's insufficient human control over the expressive elements. Whether human contributions to AI generated outputs are sufficient to constitute authorship must be analyzed on a case by case basis. Based on the functioning of current generally available technology, they say that prompts do not alone provide what they call sufficient control. And they say that human authors are entitled to copyright in their works of authorship that are perceptible in AI generated outputs, as well as the creative selection, coordination, or arrangement of material in the outputs, or creative modifications of the outputs. So while the report offers quite a bit of clarity actually on some key questions people have, it also acknowledges that standards may need to evolve as AI advances. So they're going to plan on continuing monitoring the developments going on in this space and providing ongoing guidance. So, Paul, I guess like with the caveat, as always, we are not lawyers. You should check with your lawyers before taking any path forward here. But it seems like this is at least some of the guidance we've been waiting for a while. Like, it kind of seems like decently big news that AI generated outputs can, in certain circumstances, get some type of protection. Like, is that how you're initially reading this?
Yeah, I mean, so you and I are in the midst of a pretty large content strategy that this affects. Like, and we'll Mike and I'll talk more about this in the future. But um, we're always assessing how AI can be used in outputs that then impacts our ability to hold a copyright to that output.
Yeah.
And so we were just on a call with our IP attorneys 10 days ago on this exact topic.
Yep.
And then this came out, and the immediate email was get this to the IP attorneys and ask if this changes anything based on what we just discussed. So I'll read two quick paragraphs from the release from the office. As the office confirms that the use of AI to assist in the process of creation or inclusion of AI generated material is a larger human generated work in a larger human generated work does not bar copyrightability. Now that's way more clear, I believe, than what they previously stated. So
Right.
the previous thing we would always say is like, hey, if AI generates it, you can't copyright it. Now it's moving more towards like, well, as long as you remix it enough, as long as you have enough human involvement, you can actually copyright the stuff, even the stuff that came from the AI, as long as you've made changes to it, basically. So then there's a quote. It says, after considering the extensive public comments and the current state of technological development, our conclusions turn on the centrality of human creativity to copyright, says Shira Perlmutter, Register of Copyrights and Director of the U.S. Copyrights Office. Where that creativity is expressed through the use of AI systems, it continues to enjoy protection, extending protection to material whose expressive elements are determined by a machine. I don't know how this means. However, would undermine rather than further the constitutional goals of copyright. That's a word salad to say that like
Yeah.
they've kind of moved a little bit on this. So here's my overall take. Don't go changing your generative AI policies on your own without input from your attorneys. Go talk to your IP attorneys, share the information with them in case they haven't seen it. But be proactive here because your team is doing things every day with generative AI that isn't considering these things, and you do need to kind of quickly assess how this evolves. Um, I would then take the information from your IP attorneys, adjust policies internally as needed, as well as any policies you may have with outside contractors, agencies, freelancers, things like that, and train them how to do it. So if this now creates some level of freedom to use AI more, make sure that they're trained how to properly deal with the outputs of the AI so that your copyright is protected. It's not enough just to say, okay, you can now use generative AI, we can still get a copyright. That is not what the Copyright Office is saying. They're saying you have to have human elements within it. So come to an agreement what that means within your company with the help of your IP attorneys and make those adjustments. In a quick related note, the Authors Guild, one of the largest associations of writers in America, is launching a new project to certify books that have been written by human rather than machine. The new human authored quote unquote certification will help authors distinguish their work and let readers know what they're. This is what I think I
Cool.
said this last year. Like this was inevitable that we're
Yep.
going to have human authored, or whatever you call it, human certified songs, books, articles, everything. So I'm not surprised at all by this, Mike. But I think we'll see a lot more of this like human created stamp. I know with my Exec AI newsletter I do on Sundays, I put at the bottom, this is 100% written by me.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I need to get like a Paul stamp on it or
Yeah.
something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That would be great. Yeah, no, this is cool stuff to see, and I certainly understand the motivation. I'm a little curious how they're gonna actually do this because, like, I don't know. If you figure it out, Authors Guild, go talk to every higher education
Seriously.
institution in America as well, because I know it seems like a huge lift to even figure this out.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to like turn in your Word docs and like
Yeah,
show
maybe.
the
My
provenance of
god.
it all. I don't know.